In the main operations review at Northbridge Logistics, the executive table looked confident. Every dashboard was green. Every workstation had reduced its cycle time. Every team had delivered another quarter of small, measurable gains. The operations director, Elena Voss, had built her reputation on Kaizen. She knew how to remove a wasted motion, cut a hand off, and tighten a schedule until it behaved like a disciplined machine. On paper, the company had never been stronger. In practice, however, the system had become strangely dependent on perfect conditions. One packing station waited for a scanner upgrade. One warehouse aisle had been narrowed to speed retrieval. One supplier had been reduced to a single source because the discount improved margins. Each change had made its own corner more efficient, and each change had quietly removed a margin of safety. The warning came on a Thursday morning, disguised as a routine delay. A regional power interruption slowed a cold storage facility. The backup route was already saturated. A shipment of medical components missed its departure window by 12 minutes. Then another. By noon, the delay had spread across 3 countries, as if the entire network had been built from dominoes rather than steel. Elena watched the numbers collapse and understood the contradiction. Their local optimizations had created global fragility. The faster each unit worked, the less able the network was to absorb even a minor shock. There was no slack, no redundancy, no alternate path. Efficiency had become a liability wearing a professional suit. At the emergency meeting, the finance team asked how a company so carefully managed could fail so quickly. Elena did not defend the old model. She placed a new map on the screen, one that measured resilience instead of only throughput. She proposed dual suppliers, flexible staffing, buffer inventory for critical items, and routes that were not always cheapest, but could survive disruption. The room resisted at first because resilience looked inefficient in isolation. It added cost, it added complexity, it added options. But the market had changed. In a volatile environment, the cheapest system was not necessarily the strongest, and the fastest process was not necessarily the safest. The board approved the redesign, not because they had abandoned improvement, but because they had learned to improve the right thing. The goal was no longer to shave seconds from every task. The goal was to keep the business moving when the world stopped cooperating. Months later, another disruption hit the industry. Competitors built on brittle optimization stalled again. Northbridge absorbed the shock. Elena stood in the control room and watched the network reroute with calm precision. The lesson was no longer theoretical. The smallest improvements made without a view of the whole can create the biggest failures. Real strength comes from systems that can bend, adapt, and continue to deliver when efficiency alone is not enough.